Welcome back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to a very special book review today. Yes, I say it all the time, but it really is. So today we are going to be talking about one of my friend's new books. I know. So my friend, Nat Winston, I will link her channel down below. She's amazing. She's so funny. I've mentioned her in past videos, and when I did, I said go for the bunny, and I'm gonna tell you again, go for the bunny. Creepy is hilarious, okay? I'm pretty sure she's active on TikTok as well, which I don't have, so I can't link it, but I will also link her Instagram as well. So definitely go check her out. She's amazing. And when I saw she had a new book, of course I have to support her. So today, we're gonna talk about Death Walks With Me. So guys, I have to tell you, I was so shocked with this book, and I'll tell you why, because I've thought about it. I've read one of Nat's works before, and I've talked about it on the channel. It was a book called Your Move, and it was a short story, read it on Kindle. You guys know it's kind of crappy to tell the length of a book on Kindle sometimes, but she did that in collaboration with another author, and I loved it. Loved it. Lots of body horror. It was great. It was such a fun read, and so I guess my opinion was colored by that going into this, and there were some definite similarities in the writing for sure, because I feel like Nat does body horror really well, at least for me, because I'm fine with blood, guts, and gore. That doesn't bother me, but there does come a point where it starts to get ridiculous, I don't need you to like tell me where every flake of skin went when you killed this guy, and Nat doesn't do that. Nat actually writes scenes like that really well, where they're gory, but it's like, okay, this happened and it was super gory. She's good and descriptive about it, but it's not like, and then we did this, and then his finger flew over here, or something like that. She doesn't get crazy with it, which I appreciate. I really do. She walks that line with body horror really, really well, in my opinion. So, but this book, I guess it was because she had so much more room to play, because this one was way longer than the other one, and it was just her writing. And guys, it's got some religious horror in it. And I wasn't expecting that. And I don't know why, because it said it was based around the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, so I should have been expecting it. But this almost had like some dark fantasy elements to some of it. It really did, like different worlds and magic, and oh, it was so good. It was so good. It was such a beautiful marriage of like some dark fantasy with just like some sprinkles of horror, body horror specifically. Yeah, I love that. And something I found out about Nat in Your Move, Nat will go there if the story needs her to go there. Like, I don't think she shies away from writing about extreme stuff. And I saw bits and pieces of that in here. It's not near as extreme as Your Move was, but this was such an epic journey. Oh my gosh, if you, as a horror fan, because I've told you guys before in countless videos, I do have an element of like love for fantasy running through my body. I do. I'm a huge nerd. Of course I like fantasy, but I don't usually gravitate towards it because I enjoy the darker side, okay? Now, I really need to try out some grimdark. I've been hearing a lot about that, especially from Steve Talks books, but I haven't yet. Except now I feel like I have with Nat's book, because, it had elements of religious horror, it had a sprinkling of body horror in it, but it was this like epic fantasy journey. Part of me was like, I can almost see this being like a Once Upon a Time-esque type TV series. The kind I'm talking about, like it's like this fantasy, or like Merlin or something like that. Like I could see this being a series. I really could, because you have, of course, your 4 horsemen that you're dealing with, but then you have some other characters, which I had heard of. So they're, like, well-known in the realm of, I guess, religious myth, if you want to go down that road. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of details, because I don't want to give you any spoilers. But, yeah, and they all play so beautifully together. And the one big thing I've noticed with Nat's writing, now this being the second thing I've read by her, is that she's so good at making her characters play well together. And a good example of just how good she does her character intertwining, I guess you could say, is that in this book you really have these like 2-ish storylines, but everybody has such connection. You never get too far apart from each other, so that you feel like you're reading two separate books. No. You always know you're in a cohesive book, but you kind of go down these two separate storylines, and then they all come like crashing back together at the end, which I love. And I'm hoping maybe there's like a second volume in the work, because I feel like you could take this further. Not sure. You guys know I don't do any kind of research or anything. Haven't even talked to Nat about this. So yeah, I'm hoping that maybe there's like a second volume on the way, because I can't stress the word to you enough, like dark, epic fantasy. That's what I got from this. I really did. And if you like some religious horror, if you love that like religious myth and like demons and, you know, how they play with humanity and all, you're gonna love this. And guys, I have to say, there was this battle scene. You guys know, if you've been around here for a while, that I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's this battle scene that has to do with some plants that could have just been like, if Avatar: The Last Airbender and a horror comic book had a baby, it was that scene. I loved it. It was so good. So good. And you know, one thing that I have found with like action-y type scenes is sometimes and this is a me thing, I lose like my connection to what's happening in here with the character, because it's all about the action and the running and the jump or whatever. That didn't happen here. I don't know how, but throughout the like epic little fight scene that was occurring, you still got like, she was able to take you out of the action to talk about these two characters without losing any momentum, which I thought was really cool and a sign of a good writer, in my opinion. So yeah, I have to tell you guys, if you have any love at all for like religious horror, if me saying the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse but make it badass women entices you, go pick it up. I want to say it was $1, I think. I'm pretty sure. It might have been on sale because I caught it like right after it came out, so I don't know. But it's worth it. It really is. If you have like that little like fantasy vein running through your horror love, you're gonna like it. If you like grimdark, and let me just say here, I don't know the like standard definitions for all of this. I feel like you guys should know that about me by now. So when I say like dark fantasy, it's dark fantasy like by my definition. You know, there's a lot of like fighting and demons and blood, except people have magic, so dark fantasy. I really wanted to get this out there, not only to help my friend Nat, but it's a damn fine book. It's a damn fine book. I read it in like 2 days. I can't tell you how many pages it is. I want to say it's maybe like 300, maybe. But again, Kindle does stupid things to page counts, so. But guys, I highly recommend, if you have any love for dark fantasy at all, with maybe just a sprinkling of some horror there, definitely go check out Death Walks With Me by Nat Winston. So guys, that is it. Thank you for hanging out in the Panic Room for another book review. Please, if you like this, hit like, hit subscribe. It would really help me out. And until next time, bye for now.